Hey, for those who don't know me, my name is Elizabeth, and my cat behind me, his name is Otis, and I'm praying that he keeps to himself. He likes to speak up when he feels like he's not being heard, so I'm hoping that he decides to stay sleepy over there, but I guess we'll find out what happens here. I wanted to get on here and try to reach out to people since, we've been under quarantine and people have been encouraged to stay in their houses. And I've been feeling like God has been putting on my heart to go out and spread His gospel. And that's been difficult to do, not just because of quarantine and the virus scare and all of that, but also because it's been really hot out. So I've just been waiting for that to cool down, and well, I guess I'll just try on here for now at least and see how this goes. So I guess the subject I wanted to talk about today was gossiping. I feel like God's been putting that on my heart lately, that when it comes to what people around me have done, to, the church, like the Bible talks about people in the church, and then even just family and friends and even coworkers too. I mean, none of it is a good thing. Even if God solely talks about the church, I think in an overall sense, it's not really a good thing, especially when you're trying to have a close-knit group of people and, something gets out that really shouldn't have gotten out in the first place, or somebody starts a rumor, or whatever the case may be. And then it just kind of creates a bad atmosphere for that group. And, well, I just wanted to read you some Bible verses that I've come across lately, and they've just really spoken to me, so I wanted to bring those up. And then after that, because people don't just necessarily want to hear me talk, I wanted to sing too, which is something I also want to do when I'm able to go out on the street. That'll hopefully be what helps bring people in versus me just, spitting out stuff to people, which could also be a good way for me to spread things as well. But I'm just going to try this out and see how it goes. So the first one I wanted to quote was John 7:24, and it says, "Stop judging by mere appearances, but instead judge correctly." And this was a passage from a spot in the story where Jesus is talking to the Pharisees, who are, belittling him for healing a man's whole body on the Sabbath, but they're okay with circumcising somebody on the Sabbath. And so he was, pretty much trying to put them in their place of, okay, isn't it, more important? But I just like the whole verse of saying, because I feel like in regular life, we all tend to judge things by how we see them. A lot of it being by looks, we see something that we don't really agree with and we go, oh gosh. And that, I think, in turn, can become gossip. Sometimes it can just stay in our minds and it doesn't go any further than that. I know for me, if I see something that I really don't approve of, sometimes I will say something about it. And is that really helping the situation? No, I'm sure if they overheard me, they would go, well, what's it to you? And if I let them know that, for instance, that I'm a Christian, how am I really helping anything, It's not really spreading love, going, oh, I don't like that your hair is spiked like that, or has that haircut, or that it's this particular color, or whatever. So I feel like this one really hits home in that subject. Let's see, another one was Ephesians 4:29. It says, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. Then there is those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. And that's James 1:26. Let's see. And I will read one more, even though there's actually a whole list of them that I found. Yeah, there's a ton on it in the Bible. So I think God's pretty serious about gossip. Brothers and sisters, do not slander one another. Anyone who speaks against a brother or sister or judges them speaks against the moral law and judges it. When you judge the law, you are not keeping it, but sitting in judgment on it. Yeah, I think that goes back to, like I was saying about, or what it was saying, not what I was saying, about it, judging on appearances versus judging correctly. I know that the Bible does say that judgment is needed, like it says, in the verse of judging something correctly, but it's about really understanding what's going on deep down, and you can't just do that solely on outward appearances, even if everything about them screams something that isn't good. Anyway, I'm kind of going into a judging side here. I was trying to stick to gossip, but I feel like they're intermingled, but I feel like now I'm kind of going over to judging now. But I made my own little quote here that I wrote for myself, but I wanted to share it as well. And I made a note up here that this is the day that I made my first bread loaf. So yay for me. I found out that I have a relatively decent baking skill. Who would have thought that? So I hope this comes across, and I'd be interested to hear what anyone says, because this isn't biblical. This is just my interpretation of what I read and what I felt like I needed to hear. Not because the Bible doesn't tell me what I need to hear, but just I like to put things very bluntly in front of my eyes in a journal kind of way to be like, okay, you need to focus on this. So this is what it says. Your emotions are fleeting, and they do not matter if they bring out the bad in you and in others. Live your life in pleasing God and not in your reactions. Keep your anger in check, because your patience glorifies God. Make sure your words also glorify God. Always be slow to speak. That's been my journey lately, is to try and be slow to speak. Those times when things come up and such, but to really just sit back and not react to things, which helps me not say things that I shouldn't, say things that I regret, stuff that I have to apologize for later, and even stuff that can turn to gossip, where it ends up going through the grapevine. And like I was saying before, I feel like it's not just about what's going on in the church, but it can be what's going on in the family. It can be what's going on in a group of friends that's maybe together for a book group or Bible study, or even just at the workplace. And I get at the workplace, not everyone is all lovey-dovey, but if we're to have Christian values, and even if you don't yet, that doesn't mean you can't, grasp onto some of this and go, there's really some good thoughts in these Bible verses, and, I really want to incorporate that into my life, and I would ask that you at least try it. Yes, why not? It's really a wonderful thing. And I pray for your journey. And I will end this video with a song. Just to have some videos as well of singing, since I want to practice for that as well. So I think today I'm going to sing Sanctuary, and I'm not actually sure who it's by. Actually, it might be Prepare Me to Be a Sanctuary. I'm not certain, but here it goes. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. The cat came down. Do you have something to say? I was going to sing one more time, but I'm afraid he's going to speak up. Well, I would love to hear anyone's feedback on things that you liked, things that, could be better. Maybe if I need a better camera, for instance, because right now I'm just using the webcam. And if that's good enough, or if I need to get something better, that's fine too. I have a good mic here, so hopefully that's good. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I do have an AC running, so if it's too loud. Anyway, so any critiques whatsoever, but even more so, I hope that this message is very helpful. And I love you all, and God bless, and I hope to hear from you very soon. Bye now.